was looking for a game you might enjoy, and I came across Beyond the Board. It caught my eye, and I was hoping you'd check it out. Link.
Dragon re-enters the Earth's atmosphere. All of that is expected.
Chad, there's people in there, right?
Anticipating an
Chad, there's people in there, yeah?
signal around 2:51 p.m. Pacific time, so just minutes from now, and you may hear the core begin to hail out or call Dragon for communications and see if we can
crew re-entry
with them a little bit earlier. Following this, we'll have two events in rapid succession. We'll have the drogue parachutes deploy at 2:53 p.m. Pacific, followed by the mains just 1 minute later at 2:54 p.m. Pacific time, ahead of a splashdown at 2:57 p.m. Pacific time off the coast of Tallahassee, Florida.
Hoping for a nice, safe recovery.
Pretty incredible views of
the
Dragon spacecraft making its way home back to
there's people in there, chat.
With the crew-9 astronauts on board. Once again, this view is coming from the WB-57 plane. That heat shield we can see doing magnificent work as it works to...
that looks sick. Chad, that looks actually sick, no?
All right, we're going to start hearing the SpaceX crew operations resource engineer.
SpaceX Freedom is with you. 4.16.
Chat, this is the spot, and this is the fire radiating from the thing, right?
Great news there from Commander Nick Hague reporting back.
We see a healthy flight computer. Expect automated chute
plasma.
Freedom copies.
Like we said before, things moving very quickly.
It's black and white because I think it's thermal.
Makes its way home. Next event coming up will be deployment of the drogue parachutes. This occurs around 18,000 feet.
Thermal.
GPS has converged. Expect nominal altitude for drogue chute deployment.
Well, this cannot be a UFO because it's identified.
2 minutes away from deployment of those drogue parachutes.
It's identified as a flying object.
Shield is continuing to work to slow the vehicle down. That entry period, the Dragon spacecraft went from orbital velocity about 17,500 miles per hour down to about 350 miles per hour. So it really gives us a sense
experiencing some
why
G's
that
in it or
plasma
not?
builds up on the exterior of the capsule, thanks to the heat shield and the work that it does. Those drogue parachutes will slow it down from 350 to about 119 miles per hour. We can
4 G's!
15 kilometers. Brace for drogue window.
We can see seat rotation happening inside the capsule. Great to get those first views of our crew members.
Wait, 4G is kind of massive, no?
Once again, the capsules are going about 350 miles per hour when the drogues are deployed. Those drogue parachutes that we manufacture here in-house.
My phone does 5G, and what do you guys do though?
The spacecraft down to 119 miles per hour. And that is when we will see the main parachutes deploy, and that occurs about 6,000 feet above the ocean's surface.
And we are expecting drogue deployment at 2:53 p.m. Pacific, so we should see it any second now. And there you are getting a great view of Crew-9 inside Dragon Freedom as it returns back to Earth. We are awaiting the drogue deploys. This view coming from the WB-57 high-altitude plane. And there you see it on your screen, drogue deployment.
Drogue descent rate nominal.
You can hear the crowd here.
Visual on 2 healthy drogues.
The crowd here very
That's
excited.
insane. Chat, how does that not break? Only just 2 parachutes?
Back to planet Earth.
That much
pull? Is that a turd I'm looking at?
Next up, we'll stand by for the main deployment of the parachutes.
Oh, it has holes.
The mains are quite a bit larger. You'll be able to notice
that's
the difference
first
on your
phase
screen
to get
once they
a little bit of
deploy,
drag
and
in
they
it.
continue to ensure that the Dragon spacecraft slows down even further. As we mentioned, Freedom will be traveling 16 miles per hour when it splashes down off the coast of Tallahassee, Florida, here at 2:57 p.m. Pacific time this afternoon. And there we go.
We have visual on 4 healthy mains.
That view was from inside.
Freedom copy.
That view was from inside one of the buckets where the parachutes are located. So we see
Well, those are kind of weird, though.
of the reefing on those parachutes, and as those main parachutes begin to inflate fully, 4 beautiful, healthy mains. Now awaiting visuals of Splashdown.
Freedom 1000.
We'll start to hear Commander Nick Hague.
Copy 1000.
XqcL.
As we heard right there, Commander Nick Hague will be calling out the altitude
That's
of the
insane.
capsule from here on
Some
out.
react.
Landing in water is simpler and provides more margin against
Aware of
unlikely
perhaps
parachute
some age
issues.
of empires. Aware.
You can see those parachutes continuing to slow the
Where
Dragon
this
capsule
was?
down.
And if you're just joining us, you're looking at
800 meters.
a live view of Crew-9 just minutes away from splashing down off the coast of Tallahassee, Florida. Splashdown 2 minutes from now at 2:57 p.m. Pacific. We do have 4 healthy mains really doing the job there. Just breathtaking views of a calm, glass-like ocean off the coast of Tallahassee, Florida. Crew-9 just minutes away from splashing down.
This is really such an incredible shot. That
Copy
was
600.
That was a live view
Coming
from
home.
our recovery vessel, Megan, which is stationed a couple miles away from the Splashdown.
So how long
site.
were they
We
out
can
in
see the
orbit?
crew there using their restraints as resting places for their
Yeah, and 9
arms.
months. Yeah,
They were
we
just in
saw the
space
launch, right?
moments ago, so their arms were able to float freely.
44 fuac.
400 meters.
That's crazy.
This is a gorgeous bluebird day here that we have for the splashdown of Crew-9.
Chad, they're gonna be a little bit cooked, no? Coming back?
It's incredible to think that the Dragon capsule
Welcome
just
to the jungle,
minutes ago
Felix.
was going over 17,000 miles per hour, and now gently coasting to a soft splashdown.
200.
Chat,
Copy.
do they have like
200 meters.
breathers or
Brace
whatnot?
for
See if something
splashdown.
goes wrong?
As you can see there on your screen, continuing to monitor progress of the Dragon spacecraft. And we're going to stand by for splashdown, located in the Gulf of America, off the coast
50,
of Tallahassee,
40,
Florida.
30, 20, restart.
And splashdown. Crew-9 back on Earth.
Gee whiz.
And SpaceX Freedom, splashdown.
Okay, chat, I know it's real. I'm not weird, but
Nick,
it kind of
Alex,
looks a little bit
Bush,
fake.
Sunny, on behalf of SpaceX,
Just because of the way that it's being filmed.
It is an amazing.
This is fake news CGI. What the fuck?
A capsule full of grins ear.
Oh
to
god,
ear.
they left the fucking botanist behind.
Oh no, the botanist. Gee whiz.
And as you can see on your screen, we have visual confirmation of splashdown. Dragon Freedom has returned home, and NASA astronauts.
system safety verifications
Now
are
the
in
Sunlight
progress.
playthrough
We'll
starts
report back when
now.
recovery
Good luck,
personnel are
boys
en
and
route.
girls.
Understand. And, we're in section 2, 4.800 landing response.
Is nobody gonna help them?
And looking for your words. And if it is necessary.
In the distance, we can see the recovery vessel making its way.
Copy, you're in section 2 for the environmental assessment in 4.800.
Oh,
That
chat,
is
are we
not
gonna
necessary
see them
today.
getting picked up, opening the door and whatnot?
Understand. Raising button.
So we will continue to have communications between the Corps and Nick Hague, the commander of Crew Dragon Freedom, which just splashed down 2 minutes ago off the coast of
Chat, what's up
Tallahassee,
with the water
Florida.
there? Like, what
Dragon Freedom
was
has
doing that?
returned home with NASA astronauts Nick Hague, Sonny Williams, Butch Wilmore, and Roscosmos cosmonaut Alexander Gorbanov. They're back on Earth after approximately 17 hours of a return journey from space.
The SpaceX recovery ship and team have been waiting for Dragon's splashdown, and they will now make their way to the splashdown location.
Oh, to keep it
the
angled.
The teams have been ready and waiting about 3 nautical miles away, so it's going to take them about 30 minutes or so to make their way to
SpaceX Freedom. Pretty sure we're in stable 1.
Copy, stable 1.
And these motherfuckers thought of everything.
It's going to take about 30 minutes for the recovery team to make their way over to Nick, Sonny, Butch, and Alexander, who are still seated and secured inside that Dragon spacecraft.
30 minutes? Oh, hell no.
Incredible views there of that thermal
30
protection
minutes
system, or TPS. That Dragon capsule was
I'd be losing my mind in there for 30 minutes.
Before it
like, give me the fuck out of this thing, man. Bro, this is insane.
You know, the thermal protection system did its
So did they have iPads to play
stuff?
stuff?
What that hole, that like bucket area is, that is underneath the
They do,
side
right?
hatch. That is where the main parachutes were stored. So when we saw the Dragon capsule docked at station, it looked very different. The panel that protects and covers the main parachutes, that was still intact, as well as the panels that enclose where the drogue parachutes are located. We can see those fast boats.
SpaceX is go for recovery personnel to approach. Expect personnel alongside in the next few minutes.
What about a view of the inside, though? Can we not get a like a parallel view?
We can see those fast boats. We weren't kidding when we said they were fast. While it does take about 30 minutes for the main recovery vessel to make its way over to the capsule, these fast boats will be doing a couple of things simultaneously. A couple of them are going to be working to retrieve the parachutes that you see in the background there of this drone shot. Those parachutes will be retrieved from the ocean surface. We want to make sure we are able to pull those out. The recovery vessel there closest
why do they have
to
hazmat
the
suits?
spacecraft is going to be performing some safety
Nah, they
checks.
brought some aliens back or something. Hold on.
Using an instrument that is basically working to detect if there are any hypergolic vapors or fumes that are still residing in and or around the Draco thruster.
Yeah, but radiation of what though? Oh, all the sun bullshit that hits the mother sucker because there's no protection from the ozone.
To maneuver,
and it loads the mother sucker full of rads.
Unfortunately, those hypergolics are unable to be breathed. They are toxic, and so this team here is doing those initial safety checks to make sure that it is safe for the rest of the recovery team to approach the spacecraft.
Oh no, they're getting the fuck out of there.
Checking to make sure that any residuals
well, they're noping out of this bitch.
Are safe and are not going to cause any issues. We can see the team working their way around the spacecraft to do these basically these sniff tests on all of those Draco thrusters.
And as we continue to await the recovery of our Dragon spacecraft with NASA astronauts Nick Hague, Sonny Williams, Butch Wilmore, and Roscosmos cosmonaut Alexander Gorbanov inside, Dragon has autonomously completed several steps to safe itself following splashdown. We are continuing to see Dragon in what is known as Stable 1 configuration. That's kind of the ideal configuration following splash.
1, launching! Chat, you're laughing, but the way that they built the Raptor, the Raptor rocket is built like that. Literally, I built that before they came out. Literally like that. Chat. This rocket makes it, right? Chat, I think this is a win, right? I made a stage separation right here. Come on! Out of atmosphere. Wait, no separation?
Pioneer.
That's fucking unlucky. Oh well.
NASA sent the retard wagon.
How many animals humans eat every year?
None of those, and to ensure that no more hypergolic fumes or vapors come out from the spacecraft. They'll also place harnessing around the spacecraft that are required in order to lift it out of the water. Go ahead, Sandra.
Continuing to get some views of the recovery personnel, both the main recovery
fuck?
vessel Megan as
Is
well
that
as
even
the
true?
boats that we've discussed previously. It
Including
looks like just a
destruction
beautiful
throughout
day
the
there
country,
off the coast of
terrorism.
Tallahassee, Florida. Weather was pristine. We were able to get undocked from the International Space Station as expected at 10:05 p.m. Pacific time yesterday evening, and Crew Dragon has since completed steps ahead of its splashdown at 2:57 p.m. Pacific, and we're now stepping through procedures to get Dragon hoisted up onto the Megan recovery vessel.
That kind of is terrorism, though. Doing all that for some political motive is pretty.
And you did see some of the
not terrorism.
that were near the spacecraft. Upon detection of landing, Dragon automatically releases those
Crimes like that with political motives is terrorism. Pretty textbook too. Like
Dragon
what?
then automatically safes any pyrotechnics that may still be present on the vehicle and may automatically perform additional minor system reconfigurations. The astronauts will remain seated and in their suits at this point, but the onboard air conditioning keeps things temperature controlled inside the spacecraft so the crew remains comfortable, and the communication systems.
Freedom, SpaceX, ComCheck.
SpaceX, this is Freedom. We loud and clear.
Copy that, Freedom. Have you loud and clear.
So explain how people are boycotting and being weird with Teslas, but not SpaceX and Starlink. Explain.
Flower.
As we saw there on the screen, we have a couple of fast boats in the recovery fleet that have quickly moved into the splashdown location. They are being followed by one of the main recovery vessels, which will move into position upwind of the spacecraft. The two fast boats have very specific roles. Excuse me. The first approach is focused on immediate safety inspection, as we saw. They do this for spacecraft integrity and checking for any presence of those hypergolic propellant vapors. And this ensures that it is
Destiny boycotting isn't boycotting anything. It's just
approach Dragon. Once Dragon is cleared for full approach,
boycotts are a joke. They don't do anything. Like